We are in Langhorne Borough. Hello everyone, this is Tom and I am back for a special Wandering Wednesday on the East Coast after doing several on the West Coast. So this is exciting that I am in a state not named California right now and in a special place of all places to be, in the city that I was born and raised in, Langhorne, Pennsylvania. So I know this kind of goes against my Wandering Wednesday philosophy of seeing places that I've never seen before, but thought I would make an exception for this special Christmassy version of Wandering Wednesday. I know this will not be shown until after Christmas, but let me affirm that it is indeed Christmas time. We have wreaths, we have snowmen, cardboard snowmen, and yeah, just a really pretty city at Christmas time. Off Dancer, off Prancer, off Dasher, and Blitzen or something like that. Beautiful, quaint, inviting, sporty, elegant, Halloween, weedy, purpley, creepy, hardcore, patriotic, not patriotic. It's time for a little fun fact, a little FF, as it were. The city of Langhorne was named for Mr. Jeremiah Langhorne, who was the 15th Chief Justice of Pennsylvania. This right here is the historic library museum kind of thing, built 1680, which is either one of the oldest buildings in the city or the oldest, and I'm just going to be definitive and say yes, this is the oldest building in Langhorne. And right across the street, the most hideous looking building. I don't know what they're thinking with the purple, pale blue color scheme, but it doesn't work for me. Got some huge mushrooms right here. That's cool. So this is the Bucks County Peace Center. Peace, y'all. Peace. Here we are in the center of town. Across the street, well, let's look over here first. We have the Langhorne Coffee House that nobody ever goes to because it is super uber expensive. And then across the street we have the Langhorne Hotel, which I believe Washington stayed at or something. That might be a lie, but we're gonna be definitive and say that he did. We are reaching a critical point here in the journey. Behind me is the park. The park across the street from where I used to live, where me and my siblings and countless family members would go to play and frolic and enjoy the days. That was across the street from where I used to live, so that must mean across the street is where I used to live. And that would be this house right here. As you can see, said house is currently for sale, so that's exciting. But yeah, it was definitely not, these bushes were not as monstrous and these hedges were not as towering. It's definitely not the same house, not the same place where I grew up living, so kind of depressing, but what are you gonna do? Someday I would love to live there again, or at least buy the place or something, I don't know. This is a side view of my house. That was the attic, by the way, which was my former living quarters, my former room. There's the huge tree in our backyard that I would throw baseballs against and field grounders. Good times. The corner of that yard is where we kept our bunny, which is where he lived happily until he died when my dad threw him in the garbage. Dr. and Mrs. Walter Bean, or Bien, hear the children's laughter. I don't hear it. We've reached another landmark from the childhood of Thomas Mark Zuniga. Right behind me, there we go, Langhorne United Methodist Church. We've got the manger scene already and set for Christmas Eve. And there is the Methodist Church from down the road from where I used to live. And me and my brother and sister would constantly ride our bikes around this little circle. There's a nice huge parking lot behind the church, so we would just have a ball. I would have a ball. And this is the church that I talked about in my Eden Apple Heart series, particularly the Eden part, where yeah, this is basically my Eden. My Eden was a church. How about that? This is Oliver Heckman School. This is where my academic journey first began. This is where I went to kindergarten. So without this place, I would not be the astute academic stallion that I eventually became, which I realize is incredibly prideful. I probably shouldn't be filming a school right now because school is actually in session. There are actually kids in this little play area over here. So I will promptly walk away and avoid something weird happening here. Currently walking down National Avenue, which is where me and my family made many a walk throughout my childhood as we went to the bus stop. We would ride the bus at the edge of this road here, so that's exciting. And also at the end of the road was a special little surprise, which we would always enjoy. So I'm gonna go to the special surprise now. I'm wearing the hood now because it's a little chilly. It's not really cold, but it's kind of a little nippy out today. Can any of you possibly guess what the biggest treat in the world for a little 10-year-old boy living in Langhorne, Pennsylvania could be? No, it is not Tootsie Rolls or lollipops. It is this magical place at the end of the road, right in my neighborhood, this 7-Eleven, where I enjoyed countless Slurpees, and it was just the most phenomenal, incredible thing ever. So that is it. That's the highlight of my childhood right there. Really doesn't get any more heavenly than that. So I'm kind of confused by this sign. It says it's a preserved open space, and we have this little gap between houses here. After having houses all in a row, we have this little open space. But I'm kind of confused because it says preserved open space by the citizens of Bucks County, and then we have this huge open space. So the open space either refers to this, or it refers to the blank space, wasted space on the sign, unless it's preserved that way. We are fast approaching the dog that basically hates everything and everyone, especially during Christmas time. So here he is, every Christmas he never fails. There he is. There's old Fido. Let's see if he jumps over the fence and eats me. There he is. He's a treasure, a Langhorne treasure. And look, he's gonna follow us all the way. Good old Langhorne. It's good to be back. It was a fun little tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that wasn't monotonous and tedious and boring. And yeah, that is the great city of Langhorne, where I was born and raised, grew up. So good times, and I'll be back on a future Wandering Wednesday from somewhere else, maybe from my childhood, maybe somewhere entirely new. We'll see. But for now, Merry Christmas, even though it's not Christmas anymore.